Zach quits a consulting firm which pays $40,000 a year to enroll in a 2-year graduate program. His annual expenses are $30,000 for tuition and $2,000 for books and $600 for food. What is his opportunity cost for attending the 2-year graduate program? So opportunity cost is what you're giving up to do something like this. Okay, so like you can think of it as 2 columns. It's like what you give up, which he's giving up $40,000 a year. So year 1, year 2, he's giving up the $40,000. So that's 80,000 that he's giving up there. He's also paying the $30,000 for tuition each year, plus $2,000 for the books, but he does that each year. All right, so that's 32,000, 32,000, that's 64,000. Okay, and you might be asking yourself, well, what about food? And I think the idea is that you have to buy food regardless of what you do. So if the problem said like he had to pay for living expenses, you would also not include that, because you have to have living expenses no matter what you're doing in life. All right. And again, like these are probably all online as well, so just keep that in mind. And I would recommend checking these too. But in terms of working them out, you have to figure out, well, what are you giving up, and then what's it actually costing you? Because he's giving up money that he could be making, just like your work situation. You could go into work and get money, or you can go pay for a dinner.
Yeah,
no, that's maybe a bad example. You could pay for a new bike part. So here in this case, the food is excluded because you need the food regardless. So you add up these 2 numbers, what you're giving up and what you have to pay, and that's your opportunity cost. Is that
so
okay?
you just added those and left
Yes.
600 out.
Yeah, because you need the food regardless. You can't go 2 years without food. It's pretty light. I mean 600 for food. I mean that's go to Chipotle once a day. That's doesn't get you very far. Maybe 2 months the year. All right.
That one's pretty easy, it seems like.
Yeah. So let me look here and try to make do these in an order where there's some this next one here is number 3. We'll do number 3 next.
Okay.
Because it's an opportunity cost question. All right, Teresa spends 2 hours working instead of watching TV with her friends. Okay. So the opportunity cost to her of working is, well, it's basically what she's giving up. Okay, what is she giving up instead of working?
Watching TV with your friends.
Right. So she's giving up the time, the enjoyment she would have received if she watched with her friends.
Sorry.
So that, I mean, it's a choice, right? So the whole idea of an opportunity cost is it's a choice. It's either A or B, and in some cases, like one is negative and one is positive, so they compound. Like the previous example, where not only are you giving up your salary, but you have to pay money. Here, it's just a choice. I can either work and make money, or I can watch TV with my friends. So if I decide to work, I'm giving up the enjoyment of watching TV with her friends.
So the opportunity cost would be the enjoyment.
Yes, I believe so. And again, like you may want to go out and explore the interwebs here. I mean, I'm doing that too on my other screen, just to make sure that these are correct. But the idea here is you're giving up one for the other. Like when you go out and ride your bike on the weekend, you're giving up time that you could be doing something else with in this life. It's kind of, I mean, it's almost a negative way of looking at things, but it's meant to be positive because it's like, no, you get to choose how you spend your time is really what the way they should be saying it.
Let me see.
All right, so let's do another one of these opportunity cost problems, 6. All right, you have the afternoon free. You have a choice between going to the movies with a friend or studying economics for 3 hours. Okay. If you go to the movies, you will spend $8 on a ticket and $4.50 on popcorn. Okay, so the total. So if you decide to go to the movies, it's going to cost you $12.50. If you choose to study economics for 3 hours, you will raise your exam grade by 10 points. What is your opportunity? What is your opportunity cost to study economics? Basically saying like, what are you giving up if you decide to study economics?
The enjoyment you would have received.
Okay. There's also a financial component though.
Oh, okay.
While that is true, you're also the money has to be part of it.
So maybe 12.50 and 10 points on your exam.
You're getting the 10 points in the exam. So it's like path. If you go to the movies, if you do the econ, there's like two paths that you're choosing from. And then the econ gets you 10 points. The movie gets you enjoyment.
Oh, sorry, I didn't read the whole question.
Okay, and then there's like, well, what does it cost you? So the enjoyment costs you $12.50. The econ costs you 3 hours of your time. So what are you giving up if you do the econ? So you're not giving up the 10 points, you're getting the 10 points. You're giving up your 3 hours, but the $12.50 as well. Okay.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
reasonable? Okay. Let me again just double check these. It's amazing how much stuff is available.
Yeah.
You just wonder if the teachers even care anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Technically, could I get in trouble for having a tutor help me with these?
No.
No.
I mean, no. So, this one's
I
not
don't even
giving.
really know how any of that, how it works, like all
Well,
the
yeah, I mean, the idea is that they don't want we talked about one time before, they don't want you to go out and just search, but I mean, in your job, somebody asks you to do something and you don't know how to do it, immediately you go out to the internet and you look Google or YouTube.
Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable. So I'm not seeing a confirmed answer here. Because I think there's multiple correct answers, which
The first one's also right.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, they're both right. So it's definitely so the opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that's foregone.
But the question
So
does say including the opportunity cost.
yeah, so this is one of those, right, now that we're doing it early in the week, this is one of those where it's like you almost want to put into an email and say like, hey, they're both correct. Like it is the enjoyment and it's the 12.50. How do I decide which is more important? Because like I'd rather have the 12.50. Maybe you'd rather get the enjoyment. Which is more important? I don't know. So I mean, if you ask me for an answer today, I'd say it's the 12.50, but this is one of those where, and it's okay. It's totally okay to send an email that says I was working on this problem and I don't, I know the answer is 12.50 and the enjoyment, but I have to choose between those. So how do I make the decision? Because both are true. Now the problem does not explicitly say the enjoyment you would have received from the movies, because you don't know if it's a good movie or not. Whereas the previous problem Let's scroll up to the previous problem. Oh, my screen's lagging. Why is it doing that?
She always does trick questions like
Right.
that.
Right. So actually this one doesn't say it either. It doesn't actually say that she gets enjoyment from that. So this is actually another kind of problem I would maybe want to ask again, because if she's working, she's giving up watching TV with her friends. So, but we don't know if she would have received enjoyment. We assume she would. But anyway, I mean, like I'm, these are fairly reasonable. Let's talk about number 8. And if you're not comfortable putting together an email to your instructor or the TA, I mean,
no.
I'm happy to help you, formulate that. I don't mean to put you on an island or
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
or ask a friend. All right, this is number 8.
Uh-huh.
Ramona decides to spend 2 hours taking a nap rather than attending her classes. So there's a fork here: nap, classes. Her opportunity cost of napping is. So what is she giving up? When she gets a nap, we know the benefit. Okay. But what's the benefit of going to class? It's really what this class is asking. What is the benefit of going to class?
You get to learn the, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. The value of the knowledge she would have received if she had attended class. Okay. Now, that is the correct answer. Okay. The reason it's not nothing, since she valued, or it's not, because you have to focus on what it is that the class gives you. Like, it's not the benefit of the nap, it's the benefit of the thing that you're giving up.
Okay. I was looking at C, the third one too.
Yeah.
But
So the opportunity cost is what you're giving up. What are you giving up to take the nap? Okay. And does the nap cost you anything? Does the nap so if the nap cost her something, like let's say she had to pay for one of those sleep chambers. I don't know if they have those on campus anymore. They're
I've never heard of it.
a short trend. Yeah, they were like, they'd show up and you could take an hour nap on campus. They just chambers you go in. It's really weird. Yeah, so it's what are you getting? It's like, what is the alternative? What's the benefit of the alternative? I mean, opportunity cost is the benefit of the alternative. Okay. Like right now, what are you getting from doing this lesson?
The value of the knowledge.
The knowledge that you wouldn't have had otherwise, hopefully. And that's why you're doing it. Like, you could be doing what? What else could you be doing this morning besides this?
Making breakfast.
Okay. I was gonna say something ridiculous, like maybe you play video games, maybe you go out and work on your bike,
Yeah.
And they're not bad. It's just you are always giving up something.
Yeah. I like doing these with you more though, because if I didn't, then I'd be like trying to find shortcuts to get these.
Right. So you're getting this knowledge that I hope will help you on the test or the quiz, because all you need to remember to do these is that opportunity cost is whatever the benefit is of the alternative that you're giving up.
I found it easier to pay attention in class too, now that I have more of an idea.
Right. So you're kind of excited because you're like, oh, I know that, maybe get some more knowledge about it.
Yeah.
More meaningful. Yeah. That's great. I actually so I mentor a student. He's going to be he's going to college, he's going to play sports. And we talked about this week some of the same stuff I talked to you about, which is spending time before class, just a little bit of time before class, sometimes later. And it's amazing how this knowledge applies to almost everyone to do better. So thank you. I mean, I basically got that dialogue with him, or the dialogue I used with him came out of one of our sessions. So it was great. This is number 14. You're 14. So you have the afternoon free. You have a choice.
Oh, wait, sorry, once again. We just did 8, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
The value of the knowledge. Okay.
Sorry. There we go. Yeah.
All right.
14. Okay. You have a choice. So I always build these forks. You have a choice between going to the movies or studying economics. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the exact same question that we
Yeah.
just did, isn't it?
Yes.
Let me just double check that.
Wait, yeah, it is.
Oh my gosh. All right. Wait. Let me look. What is your cost, including opportunity cost of going to the movies? So what are you giving up? Wait, is it the, oh
Maybe.
no, so it's not exactly the same. So one is the studying economics.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this time it's saying, all right, you're going to the movies. What are you giving up? What is the benefit of studying? So you
You
said
get 10 points.
yes, 10 points on your exam. Anything else?
The benefit of learning, I guess.
Right. So it's definitely the 10 points on the exam. Okay. You're also, and this is where it's a little awkward. Like, I don't think you're getting the money because you're not actually spending it. If you go to the movies, you don't, you don't, sorry. The only benefit of studying is the 10 points that you get on your exam.
Mhm.
Okay. And I think that's everything. I think that's all we can say on that.
Okay.
Always think of it as what you're giving up. Let me just check this one more time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any questions on that?
No.
All right. So that's 14.
I don't think there's really any other ones. I mean, 18 might be like it, but
Yes. It kind of is. But we'll get to that in a bit. All right. Where do you want to go from here? So we skipped to, you want us to go back?
I guess we could start at 2.
Okay, let's do that. All right, so Katie is planning to sell her house and she's considering making 2 upgrades to the house before listing it. Replacing the carpet will cost her $2,500 and replacing the roof will cost her $9,000. Katie expects the new carpeting to increase the value of her house by $3,000 and the new roof to increase the value of her house by $7,000. Okay. So this is actually this is something you do all the time, or
Mhm.
we do this kind of calculation all the time. And the simpler one is like a car. Do you have a car? Do you drive a car?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just say, and I'm not saying it, let's just say, I'll make a simpler example here. We'll answer this question real quick. Let's say you have a $5,000 car, okay,
Mhm.
and the transmission goes out. Any idea what it costs to replace a transmission in general?
I mean, it could be really expensive, but
Yeah, let's just pick a number. Let's say it's $2,000. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, nice. So you're going to your $5,000 car is now worth $3,000. Okay. Because if I want to buy your car, I know that I got to spend $2,000 to fix the transmission.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is if you don't fix. Okay. If you do fix it, so now you've got 5,000 plus the 2,000 into it. It's now worth, so now you have $7,000 into it, but it's only worth 6,000. Would you fix your car? Just based on the numbers, just based on the numbers.
Probably.
So the way I'm asking you to look at this is the cost of the repair does not increase the value of your car enough to do it.
Oh, then no.
Okay, and so maybe this isn't a great, maybe I messed up this example. Apologize for that. But you, when you look at a problem like this, you only do something. So the carpet has a cost. It costs 2,500, but the value it brings, the increase in value is 3,000.
Mhm.
Okay, so you spend 2,500, but you get back 3,000. Is that a net positive?
Yes.
Yes, it's a net positive of 500. The roof, again, costs 9,000, and it only increases the value of 7,000.
Mhm.
That's a net deficit. That's no good.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you have to decide when you're spending money if it increases the value enough to justify it,
Uh-huh.
especially when you don't need it. Like a lot of people in Arizona put in swimming pools in their house, but the numbers show that they don't necessarily increase the value of the property by the value of the swimming pool. So you might ask the question, well, why would you do it? Why would you put a new roof on your house if it costs you $2,000 in the end? And the answer
Mhm.
is, well, you might need a roof, right? You need a roof, even if it costs you 9, but only brings you 7, you still need a roof. But in this problem, they're asking you just to consider like the net value of something.
Yeah.
Okay. And you do this all the time. Like when you go to your work, you're giving up, all right, -1 hour plus your hourly wage. You're making this trade every time you go in there. And it's worth it to you. That hourly wage is worth more than that 1 hour that you're giving up.
Mhm.
At least it should be at this point. Okay, so to answer this question, you would do the carpet for sure, but you would not do the roof.
Yes, because there's no benefit or
Yes, no numerical financial benefit. So the carpet, but not the roof.
okay. All right.
All right, so we're going to number 4 next.
Okay.
Let me get this in front of you. All right, when you calculate your true cost of going to college, what portion of your room and board expenses should be included? Okay. So the question, what the question is really asking is you're going to college and you have, most students live on campus their first year.
Mhm.
And they're saying like, well, should you include all of that expense? And the initial answer might be sure, why not? Like I gotta pay money to live there, but it's an opportunity cost. Where else could you be living? You could be living off campus. You could be living at home. You could be, you don't even have to go to school. So
Yeah.
when you look at this last answer here, well, I'm going to highlight this last answer. Sometimes it's easier just to tell you the right answer so we can talk about it. Is you should only include the amount by which your room and board expenses exceed the expenses for rent and food if you were not in college. It's like, because you have a choice. You have a choice. It's room and board or something else. And that something else could be anything. Okay? But you're only including what your additional cost is to live in the dorm rooms.
Mhm.
It's kind of like that food example, the food we did not include in problem 1. You still have to have food. You still have to have a place to live. Okay. So you decide to only include the true cost is only the additional cost of this. So and maybe in a better example, if you've ever gone on a trip somewhere, you have maybe an airfare and you have a hotel,
Yeah.
but the food, you got to have food whether you're on a trip or you're at home.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't matter. You don't have to spend the airfare in the hotel, but you have to have food. Now maybe it costs a little more. So instead of going to the grocery store, you're eating out, but there's still a food cost.
Yeah.
And the amount you would include is what is on top of what you already spend. Like you probably within 10% spend about the same amount on food each week if you were to look, whatever that is. And so if you were to travel, you still have to spend that on food plus the additional cost of eating out, going to restaurants. So that's why it's just the additional amount here that you're looking at.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so let's look at number 7. Did you have any college athletes in your high school that you went with? That you went to?
Yes.
Any of them potentially turning pro?
Yes, 2, I think.
Too. So this is that question. It's like, well, why would you skip college to become a professional athlete? Like, why wouldn't you just go to college? You probably, if you pay attention to sports, you see this all the time,
Oh, well,
You
I
should-
guess they went to college, but they're gonna go pro after.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, but why? And one answer, like if you're in the NBA, you have to spend 1 year in college or 1 year out of high school before you can enter the draft. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then there's people like, no, they need to go to college, they need to get their degree. So there's 2 choices, right? College, not college. Okay. So what is the opportunity cost if you, what are you giving up when you do not go to college?
In education.
That's right. Yeah, you're giving up the time that you would spend going to school, the friends you would have made. But what's the benefit of not going to college in some cases?
Playing a professional sport. I guess
Lots of
and
money. Lots of money, right?
Yeah.
But not everyone makes it. Okay. So it's they skip college, become become professional athletes because they let's go through what it can't be. It's not because they cannot get into college. That's not even close to true. Okay. They obviously do not understand that. That's probably not a good answer here either. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of attending college is very high. So they're saying, like, if I go to college, I'm giving up potentially all this money I could be making by going to college instead, because every year they spend in college, they're not able to earn a salary. Now that's changed a little bit with the NIL. You probably you've heard of that, the name, image, and likeness.
No, I haven't.
So there's athletes can now use their name and image to get paid.
Oh, okay.
So it's great for them. Actually, you could use your name, image, and likeness if you wanted to, but it was specifically for the athletes who before now couldn't do that. So that's what they're giving up. Like the cost of attending college is the thing that they're giving up by not, and it's typically, in most cases, it's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It doesn't say. Oh, yeah. The answer just doesn't. None of them say anything about making money, though. Huh?
Right there, it's presumed, I think, because if you presume they could become a professional athlete, then they get paid. And this is an outdated. I mean, this question's been around for 10 years, but I feel pretty confident with that. You're welcome to,
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah.
no, you're welcome to
trust you.
no, don't trust me implicitly. I mean, this is your grade. I'm only here to help. So, all right, that's 7. Let's do 9. This is a more modern question. Tax on vapes. All right, so this is number 9. Suppose the state of Arizona passes a law that increases the tax on vapes. As a result, smokers who live in Arizona start purchasing their vapes in surrounding states. Which of the following principles does this best illustrate?
Would it be incentives?
People respond to incentives. That sounds right. Sounds very much right to me. It's kind of a very odd transition from what we've been working on.
Yeah, I think that's from last week. No.
Yeah, it could be. A lot of people that smoke cigarettes used to go to the Indian casinos to buy them because they didn't pay sales tax on them. So it's the same deal. We do things based on incentives.
What is like the definition of incentives?
It's if you're making a decision between two choices again, it's like, and everything else is the same. It's like like let's say there's two Chipotles,
Uh-huh.
but one has the yeah, well, I'll just make it some one has a 10% off. Which one are you going to?
10% off.
Right. So the incentive is a choice between two outcomes where they're pretty much the same, except for one little thing.
Yeah.
When do you fly or drive home when you go home? Or
I switch off.
okay. So you know, in terms of getting there, I mean, it's kind of a, fly or drive, you still get home.
Mhm.
But maybe flying is you save 2 hours, or I don't know, it's probably, you probably save 6 hours or something. You live in your family's from California?
Yes.
Okay. So the the driving, there's some reason to do one or the other. Like, let's say you want to bring a friend, it's a lot easier to bring a friend when you're driving. It's
Yeah.
half the cost. So the incentives are just a way to make the decision for you.
Mhm.
10, you're welcome to look these up, check as we go. If you already got an idea about them. So this is number 10. When the government changes a policy, people are likely to respond to such a policy change. So this is talking about costs and benefits.
Hmm.
So we tend to do things if we think they will benefit us. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to college because you think it will benefit you.
Mhm.
I'm giving this lesson because it will benefit, me.
Yeah.
There's also costs, right?
Mhm.
And costs are negative. So it's like the pluses and the minuses. And the question is like, well, let's say a policy change out there affects dirt bikes.
Mhm.
Okay, that affects you, right? But let's say there's a policy change on scooters. Do you care?
No.
Because there's no benefit and there's no cost to you. Doesn't matter if it's a good one. Not if it's like, oh, we're going to build a scooter lane on all the roads. Like, I mean, yeah, that sounds great. Go for it. But we care if the policy it maximizes our benefits.
Yes.
So that's what you're looking for when you're making when you see a policy change. Like when you see something in the news, I'm trying to think of one that's happened recently. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't have a good example, but that you only care when something affects, either causes you harm or causes you good.
Yes.
If you're ambivalent, there's no net effect on you. All right, number 11 here. All right, Sally is planning activities for a hot summer day. She would like to go to the beach and see the latest blockbuster movie, but because she can only get tickets to the movie for the same time their friends are going to the beach, she can only choose one activity. So she's making a choice. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Did this talk about any incentives? Is there like
No.
no, there's no incentives in this part. Okay. What do you think about this word here?
Trade-off. So she has to decide between two. So it would be
Yes.
trade-off.
Right. And in some ways, like, now that I'm sort of working through this with you, we've talked about opportunity cost,
Mhm.
incentives, and now trade-offs.
It's the first thing, the first
And
time.
they're all kind of in the same, like, there's overlap between them.
Uh-huh.
There's like but they're not exactly the same. Okay, so out of this lesson, what you should take away is what does each one really mean, or think of an example of each one that's clear to you, and they can be from the notes or from your own life, because they're all choices, like this or that, this or that, this or that, and some of these other things you'll get to in the course, but all right, so let's look at question 12. Make sure we get through all this. Which of the following would likely be studied by a microeconomist versus a macroeconomist? So I didn't really know the difference between these until later in life. Macro is this very big, and then micro is the details. So are you more of a details guy or a big picture guy? Meaning, like, do you get caught up in all the details, or are you more of a like?
I feel like you would have to know the big picture first, though, or understand it.
Right. So like if you're going from Phoenix to I'll just say LA, that's big picture. If you're like, hey, I'm going to take 10 and I'm going to get off at this exit because I like to get gas there. And then, oh, there's that In-N-Out I like at that place. And then, I'm going to, I've got a friend over here. I'm going to stop by and see him. And then, oh, I need to, I don't know, get some
That's
gas
more of
again.
how I think about it.
That's the details guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And, there's not a right or a wrong here. I mean, you do want to have both views at some point in your life, but a details guy, they're looking at very specific things. Okay. Macro in terms of like econ is things on a global or a national level.
Mhm.
Okay. So sometimes you can get rid of some of these choices, like effect of direct foreign investment on economic growth. That's a macro view. That's very large scale.
Yeah.
The effect of a war on government spending, that's pretty macro. So we're down to 2. Okay. And I would have liked a more specific, like if they said a local sales tax, that would have been better.
Yeah.
Because we know that that's very, very much like here and now. But the third choice, I believe, is also macro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. Just gonna double check with the interwebs here. Do you
That
have
one seemed the most specific. I don't know.
the tax on economy's capital stock?
Or
So if it were
sorry, what were you saying?
well, maybe we're both wrong.
I don't know. It's weird.
Let me look for an upvote on something here. Yeah, I think it's this. Look, that's got a good upvote.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this third one, we don't know the capital stock. It's just sort of a general broad term.
Yeah.
All right. 13. So we got to get through 13 and then the rest. Okay, we're gonna go through this a little faster.
And question 5.
We did not do 5.
No.
Okay, let me go back and look. I thought we did 5.
Oh, wait. Maybe I
No,
just.
no,
Oh,
we did
no, we
not do
didn't.
5. We did not do 5. Let's do 5 next because it's
Okay.
an opportunity cost problem. All right. All right. Pablo's decision to go to college. If he goes to college, he will spend 21,000. So this is what it costs him. So college, it's going to cost him 21,000 on tuition, 11,000 on room and board, and 1,800 on books. Okay, so these are all like, you can think of these as all like negatives because they're all counting against him. If he does not go to college, he will earn, so job, $16,000, but he has to spend 7,200 on room and board. Okay. So here's, so these are a plus. The job is the plus. The college is a minus. So they and these both contribute
Uh-huh.
because you're giving up that and it's costing you that. The 1,800 on books, we got an extra zero in there. The 1,800 on books, if you go to college, it's definitely costing you that. So the issue is the room and board. Okay. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Like he's got to spend 7,200 bucks to live. But if he goes to college, it's 11,000. So we only want to contribute the additional amount. What's the additional amount here? And that's the 3,800. Okay. So here's the opportunity cost of going to college. It's the income he would have received.
Uh-huh.
It's the tuition that he has to pay. It's the 1,800 for the books, but then it's the additional 3,800 that he's spending on room and board because his minimum is 7,200. He knows he's got to spend 11,000. So it's not the full amount here. So if you add these up, 37,000 plus 5,600, 42,600 looks to be the correct answer there.
Yeah, that's what I got.
All right. 13. All right, suppose the cost of flying a 400-seat plane for an airline is $250,000 and there are 6 empty seats on a flight. If the marginal cost of flying a passenger is $130 and a standby passenger is willing to pay $140, the airline should. Okay. So this is the marginal cost. They say that. And this is the marginal benefit. Okay. And in this case, the marginal benefit MB is greater than the marginal cost.
So it'd be the third one then. Oh, wait, no.
So you're looking at it from the perspective of the airline. It's like, what should the airline do? It's like they know their cost for the seat's 130, but they can get 140 for it.
So the first one.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's why you're really careful if you're looking these up because it's like, some are really, really close together. All right. And yeah, spring break is right around the corner. Okay, this one is 15. After much consideration, you have chosen Cancun over Fort Lauderdale as your spring break destination this year. However, spring break is still months away and you may reverse this decision. Which of the following events would prompt you to reverse this decision? Okay, so the question here is why would you choose Cancun over Fort Lauderdale? Okay.
Yes.
And right now, the marginal benefit of Cancun is greater than the marginal benefit of going to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And we assume the marginal cost is less than the marginal cost of going to Fort Lauderdale, although I'm not sure on that that front. So if you wanted to go to Fort Lauderdale, the marginal benefit of Fort Lauderdale probably needs to be bigger than the marginal benefit of going to Cancun. So you gotta be careful here of how we're doing this. So the marginal benefit, the first answer, marginal benefit of going to Cancun increases. If that increases, that's even better. That like confirms your decision. So that's not the right answer. That confirms what you've already done. If the marginal benefit going to Fort Lauderdale decreases, that means it's less attractive. So that one's out. So it comes down to marginal cost, okay? If the marginal cost of going to Fort Lauderdale decreases, it may be a better option for you.
hmm
Like if you can add one more guy to the trip and he can go for free, that might, and your cost goes down, or you add one more guy, so your cost goes way down. All of a sudden, that option's pretty appealing.
Yeah.
So I want to say it's the last option there. Let me just double check this here. With that, again, like one of the strategy I like to do is I like to choose the option, go out to the internet and see if with the answer and see if I can find that one, because sometimes they have different answers and so on. Cost of Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, this looks to be correct. All right, so we're coming here to the end. The lessons are 50 minutes. We do not have enough time to get through the rest of these. We can go faster than this in the future. Let me stop the recording here.